All right. So I'm Sheena Sharapata with Planet Ford 635, and we are here at the Garland 9th Street Gym Project with Alex Espinoza. So he is going to talk to us today a little bit about the journey to the Olympic trials and how that went. And then we have Dave Swavey with us as well, and RG Santos, all of them with the gym. So we're going to kind of just get an update on everything that happened with the Olympic trials and where things go from here. So welcome.
Nice to have us. Thanks for having us back.
Thank you.
It's been a crazy couple of weeks for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy.
I bet. So let's start with obviously the first round was a bye, and then what happened on going into the second one?
So we get up there, and they had 12 opponents, which the total brackets they allowed was going to have 16 total fighters, but they had 12 people that actually qualified.
Okay.
And things got really convoluted right off the bat because we had a bracket. We knew what day we were going to box, and then probably an hour later, it seemed like the brackets changed.
Oh, okay.
And we assume that one of the fighters didn't make it.
Okay.
So he went from fighting on Thursday to Wednesday, or Tuesday to Wednesday. I'm trying to remember exactly how that went. Because at the initial, there was a day we were going to fight the next day, and then it moved.
No, so what happened was that we were gonna fight Wednesday, but our opponents switched.
That's
Okay.
right.
So
Yeah.
we were supposed. I think it was between. I don't remember who it was at first that we were in between. I think it was between Eli Langford and another one,
Okay.
and then it switched to either being a kid from Pennsylvania or Aaron Garcia.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know how the saying is that we're outside the box. So I was outside the box.
Okay.
And so what I was hearing is that they had technical difficulties with the new system that they had in place for the brackets. So what happened is that when they got to the 125 pounds, they weren't matching.
Oh, okay.
So they had to go back to the old school way of doing it because it wasn't working for them for some odd reason. It wasn't matching
Okay.
the fighters, and it
Okay.
wasn't putting the C number 1 and the number 2 and number 3 in the correct places.
Okay.
So that's
So
what
from a
happened.
team's perspective, we think, politics are already involved because things change because they're not telling you. I mean, there's over 600 boxers there because on top of the fact that they had the Olympic trials, there was always the U.S. Championship was going on. So we had extra people there with us that we also had to dedicate. So there's 4 rings. 2 rings are dedicated to the U.S. Championship, and then 2 rings dedicated to the trials. So it starts strange right off the bat, but you do what you do, and we were lucky enough we found a nice hotel with a pretty decent training room.
Yeah, had a
'Cause
pretty good training room.
A lot of times hotels don't really invest too much in, there's a treadmill and usually doesn't work, or the bike doesn't have a pedal. I mean, it's really, and you don't want to go out there and try to find a gym to train in.
Right.
Where's that going to be? So we were kind of stuck at the hotel, which was a good idea. So first day was Wednesday, and I'll let you talk.
Yeah, so we were up on Wednesday. The kid was supposed to fight. He was supposed to fight on Monday,
Okay.
but I think his opponent didn't make weight
Okay.
or something, so he ended up just passing through to the next round. So we didn't get to see him fight on Monday.
He didn't fight at all. Okay.
So then we come on Monday, and I guess my sister, being a little lurker that she is, I guess she found his record and she's like, oh, he's good. But I just really didn't think much about it. I just went in there, and I did what I had to do, and I got the unanimous decision win.
And that kid was 125 pounds, but he came down to the 112. And
Oh, wow.
we envisioned, because he was a national champion multiple years of 125, there's no 119-pound class in the Olympics. So one would assume if he didn't qualify for 125, he must have came down for
came
112
down.
to see if he could qualify
Interesting.
there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So as Alex said, he had hands of stone.
No, yeah, he hit hard. He hit hard. That was probably the hardest fighter that I fought. Like, his hit was hard, but he was slow.
Okay.
Like, I saw everything coming, so I feel like I was able to move out the way before.
It's all about accuracy in boxing.
Yeah.
Accuracy.
Who lands the hits?
Yeah, 'cause he caught me with the right hand in like the first 10 seconds. I threw like a jab and like he threw like a rooping right hand, and it caught me, and I was like, man, he's hard. But I saw it coming, so I was like, oh, okay, like if that's all you got, you don't really got much. So yeah, I think after getting hit with that, I feel like I knew that I was a better fighter and that he really couldn't beat me.
So after the rounds, did you know you had that win before they called it?
Yeah,
Like, what were you
'cause
feeling?
They show the scorecards.
Okay.
In between the rounds, there's a little TV on
Okay.
the floor that shows you the scorecards. And I came back the first round, and they were like, "Yeah, we got the 5-0." And then after the second round, I think the second round was like 4-1. But
4-1.
also I got and so then I just closed strong, and just seal the deal.
So you knew. And I was at dinner, and then my phone lights up Swavey, and I'm like, I've got to get this, which I was saying earlier. And he goes, hey. I was like, oh, no. And he's like, we won. I was like, yes. So that was exciting. And then obviously the video when they were calling it, when you were doing this before the victory,
Yeah.
I was like, he's got it.
And then, moving forward, Coach Americo had talked to me a couple times, and he said, moving forward, we know who we're going to fight next. He's, number one seed. He said, Dave, this is our Olympics right here. Here's the championship.
Yes. And this is number 3.
So this is our second day, the Friday. And we knew that a lot of times when you get in the ring, you're not only just fighting the opponent, you're fighting the judges. And this kid's brother is a 125-pound world champion.
Oh, wow.
They train together. They have a gym in Utah. I think he's from Pennsylvania originally.
No, I think he's from Maryland.
Maryland, that's right. But there's a whole family involved, and they have a huge following, so you know what you're up against.
Yeah, and this is technically the semifinals, right?
This is the
round.
semifinals, yeah. So, we're all sitting there anxious, and, they're boxing, and we felt pretty comfortable after the end of round 1 until we saw the scorecard. And it was 5-0. And we're like, you're freaking kidding me.
It didn't make sense.
And then we go to round 2, and it's 5-0.
It didn't make sense again.
And then we went to round 3, and you know what's going to happen. You're pretty much done already.
Yeah.
You have to knock him out.
Right.
Because each judge has the opportunity to do a 10-9 or a 10-8. A 10-8 is you get an 8 count or you get knocked down or something happened. But if you're a 5-0, 5-0, without a knockout, it's not going to happen. So
How are you feeling during this, seeing those scores, obviously, and then still having to fight?
Yeah. Well, we went out in the first round. I went out and I was starting to box, but the rounds did feel short. Like I felt it in there. Like I was barely starting to find my pace, find my groove when the bell rang, and I was like, "Damn, that was fast." But I just went back to my corner, and then I think they said that I was down, and I was like, okay. I was like, all right, whatever. Like let's come back. And I went out the second round too, and I thought I did. I thought I won the round. Like I was being the aggressor. I was looking for the fight, but they said that I lost it again. And I was like, what? But then I went in there the last round, and I just gave it all I had. And I lost, and I was like, man, like I really thought I did enough to win.
Yeah, and I remember even watching it. I was at lunch or heading to lunch, and I put it on in my car. And I remember that it seemed short to me, which obviously I don't know a lot about boxing, so I assumed there was like a clock up there, but they said that they don't have that. There's a timekeeper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so here we are. We go through all the emotion, a lot of tears, a lot of disgust, a lot of conversation with other officials and whatnot. So we're headed to, my thing is after every big tournament, I always take everybody to Hooters. It's my thing. I love the fried pickles. So there we go. We're at Hooters. And on our way there, our little girl, Bella, she says, watching the video on the phone, she goes, hey, Coach, is it supposed to be 2 minutes or 3 minutes for the trials? And we're like, no, it's 3 minutes. And she says, well, every round is 2. Look right here. We're like, look again.
Yeah.
Look again. Don't.
Were you right there when this was happening?
Yeah. Well, actually, we were walking out into the van, and I was like, would anyone record the fight? And Bella tells me, yeah, I got it. And I was like, oh, airdrop it to me. And she airdrops it to me, and I see that it says 2 minutes. But in my head, I'm like, oh, Bella probably started the round late, or she ended the video like
early.
These aren't gonna be like the right videos. That's what I was thinking, and I didn't even watch them or nothing. I was just my emotions. I was just like sad,
right,
defeated mentally. And then we're in the van, and Bella goes, Alex, how many minutes do you fight? And I go, 3, why? And then she goes like, these rounds are 2 minutes. And then I'm like, are you sure you didn't start it late or something? She's like, no. I did it right. I recorded right. She, Bella being a little sassy that she is.
Yeah, she showed it. Was like, see, that's 158. That's 201.
She was like, look, here the bell rings and you're coming out. Here is where it ends.
And it's 2.
And then it's 2 minutes. And now we're like, well, what? Like, everyone like started like saying, well, what happened?
What went through your head right then when you're like, this is wrong?
It's a freak out mode.
Yeah.
And so everybody's on the phone. We're calling everybody we know. Of course, they're not answering the damn phone. Nobody from the Olympic trials or anybody. We finally were able to get our Lewis here, who's our chief of officials in this area, and he said, that ain't a fight. Get back there right now. You got to file a grievance. If you don't, it's going to consider a count. So it's funny because the whole time I was talking to this Louisiana cop that was there, got to be friends with him. And when we go back, there's a big giant black curtain that keeps everybody separated from what's inside. You're not allowed in unless you're getting ready to fight. So we basically see this lady at the curtain, and it reminded me of the Wizard of Oz when they finally get there, and the guy opens
behind
up
the curtain,
and he doesn't want you to come in, and she gives you the who are you, what do you want, and then she disappears for a couple seconds. She comes back, and now she's got that cop, and he's like, oh yeah, I know. What do you need? And I said, we got to talk to this guy, Mike Reese. And we were able to get the coach back. Initially, with Mike Campbell and the guys that were working, they're freaking out probably because we didn't know until later on there was actually 4 bouts that went 2 minutes. So they don't know what they're going to do.
And were these all in the same ring?
Same ring.
Okay.
So initially, they're saying to Coach Marico, well, you guys both got the same amount of time. What's the difference? And that doesn't sit very well with Coach Americo, and he's getting a little heated. And he goes, no, you told us on Sunday these are going to be 3-minute rounds. They got to be 3-minute rounds. And he goes, yeah, you're right. So here comes Mike McAtee, who's the president of USA Boxing. And he says, hey, just so you know, we've got our attorneys on the phone. I'm calling them right now. And we're going to have to make a decision, and that decision has to be made today before we get to the finals. So here we go. These guys are at the Hooters.
You're eating wings and French fries.
Yeah. Americo, me, and his dad, Alex, we go and find another restaurant to eat at because we left before the food ever got there. And next thing you know, Coach Americo goes, look, I just got a text. And the text said, hey, we're still in discussion. We don't know, but be prepared to box tomorrow. Holy cow. Okay, so that's a good positive. But don't say that and then not let it come to fruition.
Right.
Because
right.
I still don't believe
Yeah,
there's
they
not.
told me that, and then my sister was like, how do you feel? And I was like, man, I'm not going to get my hopes up. They told me that, and then I was like, whatever. And I went upstairs, and I just went to sleep.
Because I've seen how the letdown gets, you
Yeah.
get right to the edge and then they stop. And then it wasn't 15 minutes later, I swear, we just now got our food. And they said, get your fighter and get back here. We're going to have a meeting.
Yeah, my sister. I was in my room sleeping. I was like, man, y'all deal with this. I'm gonna go to sleep.
I'm gonna wake
tired.
up and have an answer.
I'm tired. If
So,
I'm fighting, I gotta get some rest. And my
to-
sister comes in my room. She's knocking the door. My mom answers it. She's like, what's going on? And then she's like, get up, put your shoes on, let's go. And I just get up and I put my head and I just walk. I'm like, what's going on? And she was like, there's a meeting. You gotta get down to the arena right now. And then, we drove down there, and when we got there...
Well, criminy sakes, they're texting us like, where you at? We're like, hey,
we're like,
we're not making a decision until we get there.
Yeah.
And then I get there, and I forgot my badge, too. And I think I took off Bella's or some fighter. I took it off, and I just put it on, and I walked in. It might have been Jason's, and I just take it off, and I walk in. And I go in there, and then there's all these people around. The guy I fought, the first 4 bouts, they were all in there. And they were like... Or you're waiting for someone else? I was like, yeah, my coaches are coming, and I told them to wait, and then I go in there and they get here, and then that's when
Yeah, Mike McAtee said, here's the deal. We spoke to the attorneys. It's our fault. It was on our side, and we made a bad choice. These first 4 fights, the only way to make it fair is we're going to have all 4 fights rebox Saturday. With that being said, the winners of that fight will be flown to one fighter, one coach will be flown to Colorado for a 1-fight box-off before the high-performance camp starts on January the 6th. So we know that we have to be there on or before then so that they'll have time to have a 1-fight box. So now we're like, okay, so we go back to the hotel. Mr. Wing guy is now.
No, we checked my weight at the.
I was going to ask, did you like gain 5 pounds and had to go to the gym and run or something?
We got out of there, and then they have a trial scale that's like real pretty very accurate. So then we're like, okay, let's go check my weight, and I go and I step on the scale and I'm 117.2, and then we're 5 pounds. I was like, okay, you know what? I've dropped 5 pounds before in a day. I was like, this isn't too bad. I've dropped a little more in one day, so I was like, okay, this is not too bad. And then we go back to the hotel, and I change, and I go straight down to the treadmill. And I think at first I did like 5 miles.
Dang.
And then I went up and I checked my weight, and I was 114. So I was like, okay, 2 more pounds, not bad. So then I go down and I do some jump rope. I work mitts with my coach, and then I go back up to check my weight again, and I was 113.6, I think. So then my dad and the girls, they all went to Walmart, and I took a little rest. I took like a little 20-minute nap.
Walmart.
We go to Walmart every day.
Oh, yeah. By the way, Walmart is like this new I guess my dad, every time since I started going out, my dad has to go to Walmart.
Every
The tradition.
It's a tradition.
every day.
That we have to go to Walmart.
I think he has stock in the place. I don't know.
I was telling Swavy before they went to Louisiana that I talked to Alex Sr., and he was like, RG, I need to talk to you. I was like, yes, sir. What's going on? He's like, I'm thinking we save money. We go buy some things to make hot sandwiches. What do you think? I'm like, well, I mean, you have the car to go. I'm like, hey, you want to go to Walmart? Wait
He's
a
like
minute.
thinking of a reason.
I'm like, wait, you want to go to Walmart?
Every single day. It's hilarious.
And while you're obviously, didn't know and ate all these wings and having to work out and cut weight, the guy that you boxed, obviously, who won, knows he's going to fight the next day.
Right.
So he's resting while you're working out hard to lose the weight.
And
Yeah.
I think they trained till almost midnight.
Yeah, because I took a little nap, and then I was like, okay, 1 more pound. I got up, and I had this little drink, a Pedialyte. I had a little bit left. It was about like that much left in the thing, and I just see it there, and I'm like, all right, screw it. And I drank it, and then I was like, all right. I put my shoes on, and I went down, and I ran another 3 miles, and then I checked my weight, and I was 112.8 or 112.6, and I was like, okay, that's good, because you usually drop about a pound overnight.
Where do you have to be at?
I had to be at 112 exactly or
Okay,
below.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I
Yeah,
just want to
so
check.
I was about 8 ounces, 6 ounces. I was like, okay, I'll sleep this off. So then I went to sleep, and I woke up, and I weighed in at 111.2. So
Nerves.
You're like, yes.
So
Yeah.
so I was like, let's go, and then I just started rehydrating, eating good, and
Yeah, in that level of competition, if you're over 1 ounce, you're done.
just
Disqualified. So you have
There's
to be
no
under.
weight.
Do you like
There's
carry
no
a
weight.
scale with you everywhere you go?
Oh
We do.
yeah, oh yeah,
We do.
Electronic.
Yeah.
for sure.
They have a trial scale, and if you step on the wrong scale, that's why they give you the trial scale, because if you're overweight, you got to go make weight. And they only give you until
okay.
the last fighter weighs,
Okay.
scales are done. So you only have that amount of time.
Okay.
So it's not a whole lot of time. But if you step on the
But at least you
actual-
know a little bit.
Yeah.
An hour, 30 minutes.
And we had a fighter once that stepped on the wrong scale. He was 2 pounds over. He was done. No chance. He didn't know which one was the trial scale.
Oh, my gosh.
So it happens. So here we are.
Wait. The weight was beaten. I started rehydrating and started eating. I got my strength back. We
Yeah.
get to the arena, and then the finals that were taking place for the other weight classes.
So
I
that
ju-
was on Saturday. These
Yeah.
are all the other final championships,
Right.
and then you're redoing yours. And the
Mhm.
other semifinal fight was correct timing.
Right.
So they're not fighting because the championship was supposed to be Saturday,
Yeah.
but now you have your fight.
Right.
So they're all
Redo.
there watching
Yeah,
to
we're
see
all
who
there
they're going to
watching,
fight.
and I'm just seeing them like, oh, they're banging. Like, that's fire. I guess that's where I started like getting a little motivation. I was like, man, this about to be fun. And then I was just, my emotions were still all over the place. I still couldn't believe what was about to happen. And then we go in, and then we just fight. And then the first round, I think I lost the first round 3-2.
You have to say what were
3-2.
the scores?
3-2.
Yeah,
Okay.
we go, and I lost the first round 3-2. But my confidence was like high. I was like, bro, like
And your
I'm gonna beat
adrenaline, I'm
him.
sure, just redemption.
Right. And
I
then-
said when I saw that it was 3-2, I said, this is different.
Yeah.
Something's different.
Oh,
we're
yeah.
we're going to get the right kind of judging this time.
Right,
Yeah.
and then I go into the second round, and I start like doing my little like moves, like throwing him off, dancing around, and I won the second round
3-2.
3-2. I think it was 4-1 or 3-2. 4-1. I think it was 4-1.
He won the second by.
Okay.
Because you said it in your little video.
Yeah.
We're up ahead.
I said
So
we're
then-
close. We're close.
Yeah,
2
so then
points.
it was just going. The last round, I just knew go out there and just finish strong. And then that's what I did. I went out there and the bell rang, and I was hyped. I was still had so much energy, and I saw his face. His face from Friday and from the day before, and this one was completely different. And like he was defeated. Like I had defeated him mentally. And I go to shake hands with the coaches, and they were like, their face was different too. So I go back to my corner, and I hug my coach, I hug my dad. I'm like, yeah, we did it. And then I was just excited. And in my mind, I was just like, man, I don't care what the judges say. I don't care what the decision says. I won. I'm happy with my performance. I know that I beat them. So regardless of what happens, I was gonna leave with my head high, and I was just real excited. And then they say, you're winner, 3-2, and I was like, 3-2, oh. And then they said red corner, and I was like, it took me a little while to process that they actually said red corner.
I didn't even know. I couldn't remember what corner you were.
Me neither. I was there
I'm
like,
not-
oh wait, I'm red.
Well,
That's me.
because the clown operation that is, of course, we're not the finals. So they had it on Peacock. Well, everybody shifts over to Peacock. Well, as soon as the finals are over with, these guys' TV stops. They're not part of the finals yet. They're the semis. So now my daughter's saying, well, you're going to have to videotape it and FaceTime. And I'm like, oh, my God. As nervous as I am, you want me to hold this phone still. Well, and, of course, first round, I push a button. Thank God there's technology people here. I push a button and I can't zoom in. So people are sending me text on there saying, can you zoom in? Can you zoom in? I'm like, no.
This is all you get.
So I push the finish button. So that's it. We got round 1. That's it. So then I had to start the whole damn thing up over again, and then I could zoom in.
So I kind of got chewed out by Trish. She called me. She's like, as soon as you got on, I saw your name. It stopped. Get out of that. Get out of that
Broke
site.
it.
And I'm like, it's not my fault. So he pushed finish.
Uh-huh. Oh,
So yeah,
right then.
right then when I logged in, or when my name popped up, and then Trisha, she called me. She's like, get out of that site. I'm like, what are you talking about?
You
But
broke it.
Yeah, but he pushed that button. So
Well,
Oh my God.
and I didn't have Peacock, so I couldn't get in there. And I was at an event because Michael, my boyfriend, he was running 26 miles the next day.
Oh,
so y'all can
snap.
talk about running.
Swag, that's what's up.
But I'm at this event, and then it says Swavey, and I'm like, this is a good sign. And then he's just like, we won. And then I was telling everyone at the party that who
Yeah.
you were and what you were doing, and it was just super exciting.
And the irony of this thing, I mean, it's divine intervention for me
Yes.
to go back to when to qualify. So we go to Detroit, and there's this kid that he has to fight, Langford. And is that second fight we fought up there, or the first fight?
No, that was the first
First
day.
fight,
That was
first
the first
fight.
day.
So we're in Detroit for a qualifier to go to this trial, and they stop the fight before it ever even gets started. I mean, they give them an 8 count, an 8 count, an 8 count, and you're like, those are just straight punches. What the hell's the deal? So here we are in Detroit, all ready to go. Now we're flying home. We're already gone.
Yeah. And it sucked because that weekend, too, I won the state Golden Gloves. So, like, I was, like, on a high.
Yeah.
And then, boom, it sat me down
So
like that.
So here we go. Now we get qualified to go to the National Golden Gloves. We get there. There's bracket 1 like we have at the trials, and there's bracket 2. Alex is in bracket 1. Langford's in bracket 2. After day 1, we're getting closer. Day 2, day 3, day 4, we're opponents. And I said, all we got to do is fight this kid. Just let us box him. And he beat him.
oh yeah.
And I'm like, it's almost like this is the same thing all over again. You know, they
Yeah.
denied it because
Yeah.
the judges were. Well, this time it was a referee. So the referee denied us a chance to fight. This second time it was the judges, being politics. And you love the sport. I do. I after that fight was over with, I said, I just don't know how I stay in this game because I keep seeing these bad decisions
Oh,
all
yeah.
the time.
I think too, like you said, divine intervention, but it just shows your perseverance. Like you have all these obstacles thrown at you, and then it probably shows you yourself how much mental strength you have to
Right.
actually get through that. And I think that'll prepare you even more now going into Colorado.
Yeah, nah, this year my mental really has been tested a lot. I've been everywhere, high, low,
Yeah,
hit the bottom, got back up the next day.
That makes you stronger.
You know,
It does.
I've been everywhere. I'm still in shock about like what happened this weekend, and I'm just soaking it in right now. But yeah, I think, you know, my parents, you know, this is what they prepared me for since I was little. You know, that my dad always told me, like, if you, like, not everything's always gonna be pretty, you know, and a man has to get up and figure it out. You don't have to. You don't get to cry. You don't get to lay down. You know.
Don't be a victim. Just keep
That's right.
going
Right,
with your
yeah,
strength.
you know.
And I noticed that you, I believe, did a little prayer in the corner, if that's
Oh,
what you were
yeah,
doing.
no,
I saw
yeah.
that in the video, and I was
Yeah.
like, I like that.
Yeah, you know, I just wanted to thank the man upstairs, and I just wanted to, before the fight, you know, all I asked for him was to protect me and my opponent, make sure no one gets hurt, make sure we both go back to our family safe. You know, I never asked him for a win. I just told him to give me strength. If it's written for, if it's written for him for me to win,
Yeah.
you know, thank you, and if not, thank you too for
No, that's
for
the
putting
right
me
way
in
to
this
do it.
position. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
and in leading up to the fight on Friday and Saturday, that the opponent, he just sat there. It was like he wasn't anxious. He didn't get anxiety. You know, he's bouncing around, hitting mitts, and doing his thing. And Chris Alsop, the guy who, you know, also works here with us, he calls me. He goes, Dave, look at the opponent down there. He thinks he's got this. There's no emotion.
Just cocky.
Just cocky.
Just cocky.
And I get it. I mean, he's been number one for a long time.
Right. And when
You
I
know.
went, since I couldn't watch it, I went back and watched the live, and the difference from when I saw one of the fights I watched, you just had this fire. Like, it was just this energy, like we were just
Yeah.
talking about. Like, this is your last fight on earth to do, and you
Yeah.
could just tell the difference in it.
Right,
Yeah.
and also another thing that motivated was the fight before me. The first fight, I think, was the females, the 110 females.
Yeah.
The girl before, it was a girl from Hawaii and a girl from Texas. And the first day, the girl from Texas won, but then, you know, they had to redo it. And the second day, the girl from Hawaii won.
So you're like, this is
So I
gonna
was like,
happen.
oh my god, like
Yeah.
I'm about to play, like like this is
this
possible.
can happen.
Well, that's what that one extra minute does.
Yes. And like you said, you were just kind of getting in your rhythm. So the longevity of a fight, I mean, that could
Right.
be the difference.
Right, and like it's like I haven't even done a round of bags for 2 minutes since I was like 15. Since I was like 13 probably. So
Yeah.
you know, the 3 minutes is what we train for, is what we've been preparing for. So it really threw me off when it was like 2 minute rounds.
And you start developing once you hit the 2 minute mark, you start developing like your skills a lot more, and you're you know, you start seeing what you didn't what you didn't see in the first 2 minutes. You know, so that's why I told my dad. I said, hey, I'm like, he's gonna have to go in there and he's gonna have to fight. You know, you can't leave it to the judges. You have to go in there and fight. You don't get this opportunity.
Yeah.
When have you heard that you would get this opportunity?
You have to leave no doubt. Like, you have to show it.
You
put it all
don't
out
get
there.
an opportunity like this.
No.
This is like the first time that
Right.
ever happened.
Ever.
Ever
Yeah.
happened in the USA boxing.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's funny because, you know, my dad was just telling me the other day, man, they didn't make a movie about your
You could. We've talked
experience." And I
about
was
this.
like, "Bruh." That was funny because, yeah, it's crazy. It's like really something you see in a movie. It's
Yeah.
like, doesn't feel real.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. Documentary movie. I mean, I'm
And-
sure it'll happen.
And it's got Colorado so screwed up. They're in a meeting right now trying to figure it out. You know, how they're going to get 8 coaches, 8 fighters, you know, how long before, what day. You know, they're in the process of moving this thing forward. Now they had to stop, reverse engines, back up. So it's embarrassing to them. And I've been trying to visit with them on the phone. Like, you got to give us, and I know,
Something.
but you got to give us more information, you know, because we got a whole team here waiting.
Because all y'all really know at this point is you're going to go up in January, get situated, and then you'll have a fight. When, speaking to existence, you win, then he could potentially stay up there, and then he's in the camp or
Yeah, and the altitude is a big issue. You got to get up there early enough to get adjusted. You know, it's you got to be hydrated. You got to be. So we got him a mask. It's coming if it hasn't already arrived. So you know, to start implementing that training at a higher altitude, so everything changes. You know.
how are you feeling about Colorado?
Well, I'm excited, you know. I'm still, like I said, still processing it. But, yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to go out there. And, you know, I'm 1 fight away from my dream. So just leave it all in there. You know?
And the person you're fighting, were they the number 2 or 3
They
seed
were
one?
they were number 3.
Okay.
They were number 3 seed.
And
Okay.
he's a 106 pounder that's now fighting 112.
Huh. That's interesting. I've never known that, where if you don't make or
Well, you
know,
have
just
to.
what you do.
You
Yeah.
have to because there's no 1/6
Right.
to advance to the Olympics.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
have
So
to have that.
they either go up or they come down from.
Once they started adding the females to the Olympics, they had to adjust the body weights.
Okay.
So we used to have 11 categories. I don't know that we have 11 categories anymore.
I think
because
we
of
have 13 now, but women and men.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he could potentially be going to different countries to fight, and
From what we gather, from what we know, we've had a guy that Irving Powell, they've had some good guys over the years. He said you have to fight international, and there's points assessed based on that. And the 112 weight division has not yet had a guy qualify.
huh.
So Roscoe Hill
Mm-hmm.
is the one that's on the high performance team and has been there for quite a while. But if he'd have won the Pan American Games here last month, he'd be in. But he didn't. I think he lost in the semifinals. So there's still an open shot. I mean, this is a long
Just for
shot.
you.
A lot of things have to come. The moons have to align.
Yeah.
You
But
know.
hey, I said, speak into existence and
Yeah.
positivity, and you just keep willing it. And I think it's working for you.
Well, like I told him on Friday after, I said, take all those tears you had Friday and put them indoors and use
Yeah.
those. Use those tears for the positive.
Yeah. So have you watched the guy that you're gonna box?
I haven't much. My coach did. They've watched it and they explained to me like the game plan.
Okay.
I don't really get much into that. I let I
Them do
follow
it, and then you
my
meet
coach's
with the
instructions.
coaches.
Yeah. So I know he's a southpaw and I seen him. He's not very tall, but his arms are long. And coach says he likes to fight on the outside a lot. And he knows how to use his reach. So I think that's what we're working on right now. And there's a guy here in Dallas that we spar a lot. That I feel like has the same style. So that's gonna be some good work.
That's exciting. So
Yeah.
potentially you could be leaving in what, like 2.5, 3 weeks or less?
About 3.5
Yeah.
weeks maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's
So-
going to be, hopefully we have an answer by the end of today. What dates, anticipation, so we know we've got to get airfare, hotels. Lots going on here in a short time.
So are all the coaches going to drive up, or?
I'm probably going to fly these guys up.
Fly.
I just
Fly.
haven't decided because that's Colorado Springs, about a 21-hour drive,
Oh, okay.
and you don't want to do that to the
No,
fighter.
no.
Yeah.
No. I didn't know if they were paying, obviously, for him to fly
Well,
up.
as luck
and-
would have it, we had airfare for these guys to go to a tournament that didn't happen.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because
So-
before our fights were getting dropped left and right, and we were supposed to go to Georgia, I believe, or Tennessee,
Mhm.
Tennessee.
and they canceled on us like 2 days before the fight. So I guess now we just have airfare.
Some
So we
more
have
stars
airfare.
aligning.
Yeah. So now at least we don't have to pay for extra. Well, we
Right.
do because there's going to be other people going, but at least we know they're taken care of. Yeah. Because it ain't easy budgetarily wise. Whew,
No, not at all.
it gets expensive.
I bet. And not knowing how long you have to be there for, too.
True. And Lafayette was 7 days. So, but it was a nice town. I didn't know Lafayette,
Yeah,
Louisiana.
it
They
was
say
cool.
it's the friendliest city in the country.
That's
and
good.
by golly, they sure were.
Yeah, they were
It
nice.
was super friendly. I was blown away.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
So
Yeah.
what are you doing the next 3 weeks? Obviously, you're still training, and
Yeah, so I got right back to. I took Sunday as my first rest day in a while, and Monday I came right back to the gym, right back to training. We're still taking it a little easy, don't want to push too much right now because we did just fight and we're recovering still, but staying active, staying ready. I think Coach said we're gonna start sparring next week, and just keep training, keep staying focused, keep staying disciplined, and yeah.
no buffalo wings.
No.
Not right now.
I got to the gym at 6 a.m. and by 7 a.m. I see somebody walking in and I'm like, Marbles? What? Marbles? So I called Pops and I was like, hey, Marbles is here.
He's
Yep.
already here.
He's
Yeah.
working. He's
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
He's ready. Well, that's exciting.
It's crazy. Yeah.
I know it's emotional for y'all, and you've been, for those of you who haven't seen the first podcast, you've been boxing at the gym since you were 8, you said, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and then you're now 20.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I just
So,
turned 20.
did you ever think this would be in your cards when you were 8 years old? And
Definitely not. Honestly, when I was 8 years old, I was like, okay, boxing. I was, like I said, I was playing soccer, and I was like, soccer. I want to be a professional soccer player. And then,
He was
yeah.
always entering the 5Ks, running. He was keeping that door open.
Oh yeah, because also I ran track and cross country in high school,
Okay.
and I actually had offers from colleges that come run for us, come run. And I was like, no, I want to. Then I was like, no, I want to box.
And Swaby said, but boxing originally was a little bit more difficult, right? Compared to
Right.
like him in track and soccer came easy, and obviously you were
Yeah.
really exceptional at them and getting all
Yeah.
these offers. But you kind of went. Me personally, I'm a little more stubborn, so that could be you, where you're wanting to try something like that's more of a challenge for
Right,
you,
right.
which is kind of what it sounds like.
Yeah, oh, it's like I don't know, it's just something about boxing, something about getting punched in the face that I just really like. And once
Oh, you're turning into Randy Bailey.
you just go through this training, and then just for back then it was like a 3-minute fight because you do 1-minute rounds, and then you just all this training for the little amount of time that you fight, and then that's like the best feeling. You just
That
win.
victory.
Yeah, and it's just not something. It's just something that's unexplainable.
It doesn't help me on the outside of the ring.
Yeah, yeah. I told him I'm gonna give you a heart attack one day with all this stuff that keeps happening. But
Oh
It
my
takes a
God.
toll on everyone. Like boxing, it's tough on everyone. The outside, inside, everyone, and the coaches, the
Stressful.
spouses.
Yeah.
Every single one of the people that are involved in boxing. And from the coaches to sponsors to it takes a toll.
And and not so much Alex, because he has the perfect family for this. But when we send these kids home, we don't know what their environment is.
Yeah.
We don't know what they're going home to, so we can only do what we have here in 2.5 hours, and it may be completely undone by the time they come back because of where they're at, their family. There's kids that I've taken all the way to the Nationals. I've never seen their parents.
Oh man.
Yeah,
They
it's
drop
tough.
them off, pick them up, never got in, never come in, never talk to you, never come to a tournament. You're like, I don't know what I can do.
Yeah.
It's limited. You do your best, but
That's
But-
got to be
Yeah.
exceptional. I mean, the family
No,
support
yeah,
that you have.
I'm very blessed, and I'm very grateful for them.
he's the poster
they
child for
sacrifice.
what you
They
want.
sacrifice a lot
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
We haven't had family vacation in so long because all the little money we have saved up for a trip, we use it to travel. My parents go and support me. My mom, she went out to support me too. My sister's always there. My brother's always there. I'm just very blessed.
That's amazing. Well, we'll have to find a way to get y'all a little family vacation going.
Great times. Great
You
times.
deserve it for sure.
Oh, yeah,
But
he
we got to
does.
get you through. There she is. We're going to get Lori Dodson to pop in here, one of my good friends. And she's been in Garland, I'm not sure how long. Her whole life, I think.
I think she was standing in the. I think if I remember correctly,
And then
you
if you
could
come right here, you'll see how loud it is.
you could correct me on the story, but I think you were standing in the field and they built a city around you. Is that
That's exactly correct.
how it works?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was going to
just
say, I
checking.
can't tell you how long because then I'd tell you how old
Oh.
I am. So,
Yeah.
man, sitting here listening to this, amazing. Basically, 20, basically a teenager going through the emotions, the ups and downs,
Yeah.
your discipline, your mindset. Even before you knew on the refight, I knew to myself I was a winner.
Yeah.
After that is going to carry you so far.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll be
Thank
watching you.
Thank you.
No,
in the Olympics.
yes. No.
Regardless, nobody can take this that's already happened away from you.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. It's going to be. It's that climbing that ladder, because the taller you get, the harder that fall is. But you got to be prepared. And lessons learned, right? We always learn from the defeats, not the victories.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I've never heard a champion that won complain. So I always tell the kids, you go in quiet and leave loud, and that's, you don't say a damn thing and let the crowd talk about you,
Oh yeah.
because that's that's your stability, that's your longevity. You know, if you can come in here and be a flash in the pan and be a crap talker, and you'll get some publicity, but everybody hopes you lose.
Yes.
And as soon as you do, you're done, because they're moving on to the next, sarcastic guy. And in boxing, the discipline is so tight. There's not much room for anything. You know, your meals, your sleeping. You know, people say he had to make weight the next day. He had to make weight right after the fight.
Yeah.
You don't get to go back home and have another day.
Yeah.
So if you're 3 pounds, 4 pounds overweight, you just had the fight of your life and you won, you're in the gym. And you got to make weight again for tomorrow morning. There isn't much. And it's supposed to be a 24-hour window between fights. Well, some of those guys in the trials only got about 8 hours,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah. I
They're
think
not
so.
supposed to do that, but they were, trying to get everything and within the window of opportunity. So, yeah, there's a lot going on. It's a lot of moving pieces.
I'll
So,
say again the discipline.
Yeah.
Somebody would have to be chasing me with a gun for me to leave Hooters and run 5 miles, jump rope, lay down for a minute to cut 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yes. And Lori obviously knows so much incredible things going on in Garland, and there's so many nonprofits that we've worked together to do these events, and that's what we talked about the last podcast, but Lori does a lot of work personally and stuff with Encore Recyclers, and then Planet Ford 635. We're really wanting to do that joint boxing event, hopefully, where we will have the ring in the center, 40, 50 tables around, and then bring all of the 9th Street gym boxers to be able to fight against Dallas and Irving and Grand Prairie, a
Yeah.
lot of their boxing rings, their individual students that are to box each other.
Yes.
So, and then the goal obviously would be the Garland support, the businesses, and then hopefully donate back, $50, $60, $70,000 to the gym, sponsor athletes. So then when you're traveling,
Yes.
you don't have to worry about those costs.
Because right
Help
now,
on that budget.
we Chief Brian and the police department is, they created a little bit of a budget for us here, keep the equipment running and so on, and a little bit on the travel. For the most part, Guns and Hoses is your funding source. And nonprofits are getting hit pretty hard right now with the prices of everything going up. It's almost like you're putting an event on to pay their bills. So we got some hard decisions to make for 2024, and this program is gonna suffer for it. So bringing you guys to the table and having a chance to maybe put some extra money in the coffers is gonna help me, because we got these guys and we got guys behind them, guys and gals behind them that this isn't gonna end. I hope.
I hope it doesn't end.
When the city first gave me 6 kids that were Boy Scouts, that the police officers were no longer going to do the Boy Scout program, I started with 6 kids. This was never even in the cards. Just get kids out of high school, keep them out of trouble, and it's evolved.
And now you have so many kids that want to do the entry level, like you have to turn some away,
Oh,
correct?
Yeah. We and with the tournaments being the way they are and the amount of kids, we can only have like 3 beginners classes a year, and we'll have 150 kids apply, and we can only take 50, and we feel bad, but there's so much. And this is the crazy thing is, before COVID, we'd have a beginner's class of 50 kids. We'd probably be, when it was over with, we'd have 15 to want to stay. After COVID, if we have 50 kids, 49 stay.
Aw.
So we're like sticking them in closets. We had them training outside.
Yeah.
When karate's growing too after COVID. So there's a limited amount of space, and we got to get these guys in here and focus on the guys that can, but you still got to spend time with the kids that don't yet. And we have a lot of coaches. Thank God we have a lot of volunteers that come in here and dedicate time, because Coach Americo pretty much dedicates himself to the upper guys, the upperclassmen, and it's been 30 years in the making. I don't know why everybody stays, and why they come back and why they participate, but I've been blessed for this whole thing, and I just hope that we can make the city of Garland prouder than they currently are with the program.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, you already have done, you should be super proud. Like Lori said, everything you've done, like nobody can take that away from you. And obviously you're going to go and win. But no matter what, I mean, you've done incredible things. I mean, you should be super proud of yourself.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank you.
It's insane. I mean, just to know that we're going to go to Colorado is insane. And I was on the board of directors for USA Boxing for 2 years. I never got to go there. So now I'm going to go as a coach,
Yes, sir.
spectator.
How does that feel?
Crazy. When I was in the military, I was stationed in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I had a shot at going to the Air Force Academy to work there as a military police officer. So I'm finally going to get to go after 45 years of not making it,
Yes, sir.
So I get to go see the base. I always thought would be good because a little bit of story on the Air Force Academy. If you're working the main gate and you're the guy working when the 1,200 soldiers graduate and you're the first one to salute them, they got to give you $1. So everybody wants to work the main gate on graduation day. You can get pretty wealthy. Yeah. Anyways.
That's funny. So
That's greatness.
what about, obviously you've been in Garland a long time and know the importance of the gym. What do you, I mean, obviously you've seen students and the stuff we talked to Swavey about that are now engineers and doctors, and he's got a job lined up at Texas Instruments, right? TI.
correct.
What do you think of all of this?
I think Lieutenant Swavey, I met you probably second or so year into city council.
Okay.
Wasn't aware of the program. I've pushed the program, talk about it, even if it's not Olympians,
Yeah.
that what you're producing, doctors, those sorts of things. It's an amazing program. You're turning out amazing human beings that, of course, we want to stay in Garland and give back and things like that. But you see the gym that he's in. He's been here. When did
Oh my gosh,
you
I
come
think it's
into this
20. I think it's
building?
26, 27 years we've been here.
So he's done this with really very minimal.
Yeah.
We're hoping that GISD, the school district, will help us out. The event that we had when we recognized Alex before the fights,
Oh, the Heritage Festival?
yes. And you saw several of the business owners that we didn't know at the time. They were just business owners that wanted to come and support. And they all stood up and said, I went through the gym. I went through the gym. And they're back now saying, if you have this fight night, we want to be there.
Yeah.
We want to support.
Yeah.
So you see what you've produced. These folks have gone out, started their own businesses. They're here. They're contributing. I'm hoping to see that the school district and the city will come in with us and recognize the difference that's being made.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and I've said it 1,000 times, but they've heard me so much they don't listen anymore, and I understand that. But the perception of a boxer from the outside of the box, as RG said, is the Mike Tysons, the agitators, the irritators. That's not it. Those guys are highly disciplined. That was just a show. But for them to come in here and to see the size and scope of the program, it blows people away. Because I think when they walk in, they think they're going to see like a garage and 2 bags hanging and one guy with a stocking cap on sideways that talks like Mick from Rocky. And there's a coffee pot that, stays on. But when they get in, they're like, oh, my God, look at all these kids. And, they're doing, you got 8-year-old kids running 3, 4, 5 miles, It's crazy. It is.
And there's, just like Trusted World, Lori knows everything going on, and I didn't know even that was here, and neither did Lori. And then with the gym, I've been at the dealership 9 years, and I think it was only 3 or 4 years ago I'd ever heard of the gym.
Yeah.
And then I didn't even know it was in downtown Garland. Like, I would just drive and come eat at all these restaurants. So that's kind of the purpose of this event that we're working on, and why we want the support of the city and the school district is to educate all these businesses and get them involved where they can network with each other and to be able to give back and spread that knowledge of how important this program is and the impact that you are making.
Well, and I finally got a 501c3 just for the program, the 9th Street Gym Project, because I've been told many times, there's a book and a movie here. And I said, well, who's got time to write it? We're too busy doing what we do, but it has to be promoted within the local businesses. It's very hard. Garland's a great town, blue collar, got a lot of industry, but I don't have a nickel's worth of time to go out there and ask them for help, So by you guys stepping to the plate, bringing the opportunity here, we really got to show and bring those local businesses out and say, hey, these kids, not only are they kids here, they're going to be employees someday.
Yeah, and how Lori had mentioned from the Heritage Festival, but E&D Premier Roofing and Solar, so he was the company that went up, and then, when he looked at Swavey and said, I went through the gym, and he was the one who's already reached back out and said, hey, whatever you're doing with the gym, let us know, we're sponsoring, and there's numerous companies that already want to do that, and, we do the clay shoots, the golf tournaments, you do them through Guns and Hoses, but there hasn't been this huge boxing event in Garland, so I think that alone, too, is going to draw in support.
Yeah.
Well, it needs to be the pride. And I think you said it even, the program 30 years ago was your brainchild to sort of interrupt gang, remove a child from a potential of joining a gang and giving them something productive to do.
Yeah.
I think that maybe has stuck with some people. These are all troubled children.
Yeah.
Alex, you've been here since you were 8.
Yeah.
And
he didn't rob a bank to get here.
right.
Yeah.
You were not a problem child. You have 2 and 3 generations that continue to come back.
Yeah.
Your coaches, some of your coaches have
Well,
been
Archie
through.
that was just here, he was a boxer for us. Yep.
And so I think there's a lot of the story that's not getting out.
Yeah.
And it is something that the city and the citizens could be so proud about.
Yeah.
I can see Alex going to the Olympics parade.
That's what I said too.
Alex won the Olympics parade. We can run it right straight down through downtown.
We're going to make that happen, by the way.
I'd have a parade for Alex persevered through being scored 5-0, being able to stand and fight the third fight. You realized that you didn't get into your rhythm, but it didn't crush your world.
Yeah.
And kids struggle so much today.
Yeah.
Over small things that crush their world.
Yeah.
Right.
Sad, upset. Of course, that's a natural reaction, but it did not crush your world. You picked yourself up from Hooters and went and ran and cut weight. You went out, you fought again. You didn't really know the score, but you knew you were a winner.
Yeah.
Kids these days don't have that. I mean, that's, again, it's really remarkable.
Yeah.
And that you see it's not always what somebody scores or judges. It's myself against, I did a good job, and I'm a winner, regardless of what somebody else may say or score. It's chilling.
Walking away proud.
Yeah.
And we commonly coin it. I used to coin this a lot. We poured a little G on them. You got the Garland.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure you've learned a lot of that growing up in the gym too.
Yeah.
That strength and those characteristics of building that mental mindset.
Yeah.
Well,
that is what you produce.
And you're sitting inside the ring that thousands of kids never make it in here. They get here, but they can't make it here.
Right.
And stress is such a hard thing because they're dealing with it on a nonstop basis, and kids, a little bit of pressure, they'll fold, and for them, this is stressful to get in here for the first time for a kid equal to size stature and ability, knowing that you're going to get punched by them. And how do you come back? This changes. When you step in here, you're forever different out there. It's just a way to do it. I mean, you can deal with life in a much better. I mean, that's how I grew up. I had to get in here. I remember sitting in the van driving to a fight, and I'm like, I don't hate this guy. What do I want to fight him for?
Yeah.
You know, as soon as the bell rang, boom, I'm in.
Different person.
Yeah, and you don't feel any punches, and did you hear me screaming at you? Hell no.
I'm sure you block out a lot of.
Yeah, I mean, I hear, it's like, like you hear it, but like you don't process it. It's like,
Yeah.
it's just noise in the background. The one voice I always hear though is Coach Americo. That's like the one voice that, no matter what he says, I'll hear it and I'll process it and I'll just do it. Besides that, no, I don't really hear no one.
Yeah.
So we'll end on this and then cheer you on, obviously, for Colorado. But I watched the video. If you saw Swavey, he was like super stoked and running. And I'm waiting, and those curtains open up, and I saw you. Was that your mom that you were hugging?
Yeah, that was my mom.
What was like the emotions, obviously, seeing your family, and then when you finally got to see Swavey?
No, man. Like I said, that whole 24 hours was a roller coaster of emotions. Just 24 hours prior to that, I was again hugging my mom, crying. In defeat. I was very sad, I guess. Defeated mentally. I was like, dang. And then coming back, seeing my mom there, giving her a hug. I was just like all the thoughts, everything I went through, everything that had passed.
Got you to that moment, everything you.
Yeah, and I was just
Yeah,
really emotional.
And I drove there by myself because my wife's father, my father-in-law, had to go into the hospital, and there was a possibility early on that I may have to leave and go up there, and so I made a decision to drive by myself. What made me mad was I don't get to ride home with the team.
Oh.
So they're all high-fiving and excited, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I'm calling every person I can think of. You got to talk me through this 5-hour drive.
It was very, very, very emotional, very exciting moment.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
And
then, of course, I had to take the video down because apparently I was putting little cuss words out there.
It was so good, though, because he was so excited.
Oh.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I hope you saved it somehow.
I don't know. I didn't.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
But, well.
Because it was live.
It
wasn't saved on your phone. Oh.
I know, and it was just like true raw emotion, and it was just the best. There's got to be a way.
Yeah.
Maybe Landon knows. Tech savvy, how to recover a live video on Facebook. If you delete it.
What do you say?
I don't know.
It's got to hunt a little bit.
Yeah.
Find somebody else who shared it, steal that link.
There you go.
Yeah. But we'll end with this. If you guys are watching the podcast, any businesses out there, companies, reach out to Swavey, Lori, myself. Encore Recyclers, Planet Ford 635 are working on an event that no matter what, we're going to make it happen. We're just trying to do it all the right way to get involved so we can make this happen in Garland. And wishing you the best of luck when you win in Colorado. Keep us posted, pictures, videos, and let us know the process. And then obviously, big goal once you get back, whenever that may be, we want to do a party here for you and some of the kids at the gym, and maybe our third Good Luck follow-up podcast. So
Yeah, thank you.
And a little shout out to Icon Meals, Todd over at Icon Meals that owns that. He's got him. It's a sponsorship, so he gets they order the meals, they deliver them to his house. So we know he's got a balanced meal in front of him every day.
Oh, outstanding.
Yeah.
They're good
And
people.
the discipline to actually stay on those meals, because I'd be like, where's that pint of ice cream?
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
That's incredible.
yeah. Any last words?
I just want to say thank you again for having us here. And just want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in.
Perfect. Thank y'all.